Hello. I'm making this video as a result to people who ask me, what is with the lore in FNAF? Or you may be a parent or one of my friends who somehow doesn't know the lore of FNAF. Parents, I can understand that you don't know the lore of FNAF. But this video means that you've been caught in a loophole. This video might be one of the longest videos I've ever prepared for. Because I never really prepare for videos, and this setup is the only setup that I've ever prepared for a video. Mind my dogs, that might be barking a lot, but let's get into this. As you can see, I am a hardcore FNAF fan. Poster. There's a poster back there that you can't see, but I'm not moving the camera for, reasons. My hoodie's FNAF, I have a shirt over there that's FNAF related. I have more toys than this, but I even have the movie right here. I'll be talking about it later. In August of 2014, indie game developer Scott Cawthon released what he thought would be his final game. Based on his reviews of the last game he called Chipper and Sons, which is about a lumber game where you played as I think it's a beaver. Yeah, beaver. Where it's basically a little lumber tycoon. People gave reviews of his game being scary, and the motions of the characters are animatronic, like Scott Cawthon used this as motivation and made his next game, Five Nights at Freddy's, thinking it would be his final game, but did he not know he'd start a whole revolution off of this first game that he thought would be his last. On August 14th, like I said, Scott Cawthon published Five Nights at Freddy's on Steam. A little minor game, but soon Let's Players would pick up on it. Let's Players such as Markiplier, Dawko, and many more would make this game even more famous than it was. But little did they know, there was a little mystery hidden in it. That's when one of my favorite YouTubers, Game Theory, or the Game Theorist creator MatPat, had looked into the game, asking his Reddit for a poll between Slenderman, the 8 pages, I think it's 8 pages, and Five Nights at Freddy's, which his fan base said that he should do Five Nights at Freddy's. Slender the 8 Pages was a game that was really popular in 2014 as well. It was one of those scary games. Five Nights at Freddy's beat it in a lot of ways, in scariness. In Five Nights at Freddy's 1, you're inside of a pizzeria that has been abandoned for quite a little bit. It may have been abandoned, I don't remember. But you're in an office in the game, and basically you're sitting there until 6 a.m., from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. And so there's a guy on the phone. Well, his name's Phone Guy. And he'll list things to you. You know what? I have the whole message in here. The transcript reads, Hello. I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first day. I actually worked in that office once before you. I'm finishing up my last week now, as a matter of fact. So this obviously gives us a fact that obviously he's a security guard as well, and he is finishing up his last week at Freddy Fazbear's. So he's going to give us advice, as it says. So I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm here to tell you there's nothing to worry about. You'll do fine. So let's just focus on getting you through your first week, okay? Let's see. First is an introductory reading for the company that I'm supposed to read. It's kind of a legal thing, So this legal thing says, Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed in 90 days or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. This means that Fazbear Entertainment has probably had a couple incidents in its past. None of them in the games that we, kind of fully know of yet. Although in FNAF 4, which I'll get to, there's a scene that, kind of says that there has been events in which so have happened that have been horrible. I'm recording.
Huh?
I'm recording. Probably a $5 video.
Huh?
You'll see it later. It's about FNAF 4.
I got a job for you later.
Alright. Anyway. In saying so, this means that there have been situations in the past, start from the interrupting and the dad, Anyway, he then says, blah blah blah. Now that might sound bad, I know, but there's actually nothing to worry about. The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night. But do I blame them? No. If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too. So this obviously means that the animatronics, get up and stuff at night. And they've been active for 20 years. After this, he goes on to say, so remember, these characters hold a special place in the hearts of children. Wait, yeah. And we need to show them a little respect. Right? Okay. So just be aware the characters do tend to wander a bit, okay? Oh wait, no, look. They're left in some sort of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day, too, until there was the bite of 87. It's amazing how the human body can live without the frontal lobe. So, big situations happening right now. He lists that there's something about their servos locking up, and they used to be able to walk around during the day, till the bite of 87. Which, to this day, is still, nobody really fully knows who did it. But all we know, it was during the day shift, and they used to be allowed to walk around during the day. FNAF 2 will explain a lot about this, so. Oh, and that the person who got bit in the head somehow survived without the frontal lobe. Now, concerning your safety, the only risk to you as a night watchman here, if any, is the fact that these characters, if they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on, which again are the figures inside of the animatronics that make them work. Now, since that's against the rules at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with crossbeams, wires, and animatronic devices, especially around the facial areas. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully stuffed inside of one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death. The only parts of you that would most likely see the light of day again would be your eyeballs and your teeth, which pop out at the front of the mask. So that tells you that you obviously don't want to die to these animatronics because they're going to stuff you inside a Freddy suit and, kill you. And for comedic relief, he says, yeah, they don't tell you these things when you sign up. But hey, first day should be a breeze. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Check those cameras, and remember to close those doors only if absolutely necessary. That I conserve power. And then he ends the call right there. I might actually have to keep this on my lap, or in front of me. So, after the phone call, so you have to do certain things in the office, right? There's two doors on the left side and the right side of you, or there's one door to the left and one door to the right side of you, and there's two buttons on each side. There's a white one and a red one. The white one says light, which will flash light outside of the office, and the red one says door, which will close the door. But in so doing these, you will slowly lose power. And so, if you lose power, I'll tell you this in a bit, If you lose power, then you're gonna die, unless you somehow live. But anyway, the doors will make you lose power. There's also cameras that you need for a special character, aka Foxy, who sits in Pirate's Cove, and if you don't keep an eye on him, then he'll kill you, basically. But the cameras waste a little bit of power, not as much as the doors, though. The lights somehow waste a little bit of power, but not that much. Anyway, so the 4 main animatronics, there's the 5th one, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. 4 main animatronics: Foxy, Chica, Bonnie, and Freddy. Foxy is out of order for some reason in this game, which is kind of weird. He is already withered, which we get to the withered animatronics in FNAF 2. And he is just out of order. He's deemed as a pirate, that's why he's in Pirate's Cove. He's not like the other ones. Foxy just stays in an area, but if you don't check on him as much, or if you don't check on him too often, he'll come and attack you. Chica is like one of the animatronics that goes into the kitchen. She usually comes on the right side of the hall, while Foxy comes on the left side of the hall. Chica will slowly progress to the office, going through. She'll go into the kitchen. The kitchen, though, doesn't have any visual feed. It only has audio feed. So you can hear pots and pans clanking and a total march when Freddy Fazbear is in there. Speaking of Freddy, Freddy is also a weird animatronic as well. He likes the dark, which is why you don't want to run out of power, because if you run out of power, Freddy will come through the left side, and so he will play his kind of total march theme before attempting to kill you, or killing you. Basically, Freddy also can go on the right side, but that's from night 3, and so on. Freddy doesn't really become active unless you power out until night 3, but he'll come on the right side of the hall. And so, I don't think using his light will help you find him, to be honest. I haven't really played that much, because using the lights won't really help you find him. You have to hear it from him. He has a good laugh in the game that'll let you know where he's at. And he's the harder animatronic, so fend off. Bonnie, my favorite, to be honest, will come on the left side of the hall. He's literally like Chica, but he just comes on the left side of the hall, to be honest. Fun fact: if Bonnie or Chica make it into your office while you have the cameras up, you're gonna hear a raspy groan. It's gonna be like, and then they're gonna pull down the cameras and kill you. So the 5th animatronic I was talking about earlier is named Golden Freddy, or perhaps in the game files, Yellow Bear. Golden Freddy didn't become popular until Markiplier. The term Golden Freddy didn't become popular until Markiplier discovered of Yellow Bear in the game files, not in the game files, but in playing the game, and he called him Golden Freddy in the title of the video. Markiplier is one of the reasons that Five Nights at Freddy's was popularized, and he also calls himself the so-called King of FNAF, which I find hilarious. Anyway, Golden Freddy is weird. There's a poster in the back left corner of the left hall that can it's Freddy Fazbear. Can sometimes occasionally change to Freddy Fazbear ripping his head off, but can on rare occasions change into a close-up of Freddy Fazbear, but his fur is golden for some reason and there's no eyes. You'll hear little giggles like a child, and once you close on the monitor, there will be a endless suit sitting in front of you with flashes of "It's me." And if you don't pull up the monitor in 5 seconds, then your game will crash, and you're gonna get a really scary jump scare from Golden Freddy. It sounds like I don't know how to pronounce it. It's kind of funny. Anyway, that made a lot of people playing the game start to uncover its mystery, which still hasn't been uncovered fully yet, but it's a big mystery. There's also clippings on the walls of events that have happened at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. These newspaper clippings say stuff about certain events. Hold on, wait. Where is the original one? Kids vanished at local pizzeria. Bodies not found. 2 local children were reportedly lured into a back room during the late hours of operation at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza on the night of June 26th. While video surveillance identified the man responsible and led to his capture the following morning, the children themselves were never found and were presumed dead. Police think that the suspect dressed as a company mascot to earn the children's trust. Local news. Local pizzeria threatened with shutdown over sanitation. Local pizzeria Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has been threatened again with shutdown by the health department over reports of foul odor coming from the much-loved animal mascots. Police were contacted when parents reportedly noticed what appeared to be blood and mucus around the eyes and mouths of the mascots. One parent likened them to reanimated carcasses. Local news. Local pizzeria said to close by year's end. After a long struggle to stay in business after the tragedy that took place there many years ago, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has announced that it will close by year's end. Despite a year-long search for a buyer, companies seem unwilling to be associated with the company. These characters will live on in the hearts of kids. These characters will live on, said the CEO of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Those newspaper clippings are also kind of rare, and they establish some set of lore. So we get a memo that says, or not a memo, but we get informed that there have been kids that have died in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, who have presumably been stuffed inside of the bodies of the animatronics. And so, given that, since they were been stuffed inside of the animatronics, how Boomba says they do get a bit quirky at night is because of their souls possessing the animatronics. Golden Freddy is the fifth animatronic that nobody mentioned ever in the game. Basically because it's supposed to be an Easter egg. But there was a fifth kid. Or no, there were already 5 kids. But who was the 5th kid? We don't really know about the kids until later games. Although there's another way to summon Golden Freddy. If you beat Night 6 in Five Nights at Freddy's, yes, I know it's called Five Nights at Freddy's, but there's 7 nights in the game. If you beat Night 6, you get brought to a custom night with 4 characters, not including Golden Freddy. There's Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, the main field. If you set them to 1, 9, 8, 7, you press start, Golden Freddy will appear on your screen with another start movie on screen. Now, that brought people to conclude that Golden Freddy may have been involved in the Bite of 87. We don't fully know yet. Now, I shall move on to FNAF 2. FNAF 2 is a game that also brought more sense to the lore and brought more fans to FNAF. Basically, FNAF 2 takes place before FNAF 1. It's a prequel. And you're inside of a bigger pizzeria. Basically, you're in this office with 0 doors. There's 2 vents and a hallway in front of you. There's the hallway. You can flash your light, but you have limited battery in the flashlight. There's 2 vents on either side, and you also have a Freddy Fazbear mask to put on your head. If an animatronic wanders into your room, you put it on their head, they'll think it's you. Except Foxy and the marionette. Or Withered Foxy and the marionette. Withered Foxy, you have to use your flashlight to flash on him, which, when Balloon Boy comes by, he will steal your batteries and make you die to him. I'll explain more about the animatronics later, but the puppet is probably the most relevant in lore. The first night phone call of FNAF 2. says, hello, yeah, I know. Welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I'm here to talk you through some of the things you can expect to see here during your first week here and help you, get started down with this new and exciting career path. I'm bad at reading right now. Now I want you to forget everything that you may have heard about the old location. You know, some people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company. That old restaurant was kind of left to rot out for a while. But I want to reassure you, Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and above all safety. They spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility. Excuse me. They even let them walk around during the day too. Isn't that neat? There's a hint. That's obviously a hint that this is a prequel. They let them walking around during the day too. Obviously, in the first one, there was the bite of 87, and now they're only restricted to night. But in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, they're allowed to walk around during the day with no bite of 87 yet. But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator from a mile away. Heck, we should be paying them to guard you. With that being said, no new system is without its kinks. You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished his week but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift, but lucky you, right? He mainly expressed concern that certain characters seem to have moved around at night. That should be impossible. Wait, no. And even attempted to get into his office. Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth. So while our engineers really have to find an explanation for this, the working theory is that the robots have never gotten a proper night move. I'm sorry. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So they try to find where the people are, and in that case, it's your office. The temporary solution is there's a music box over by the prize counter, and it's rigged to be wound up remotely. So just once in a while, switch over the prize counter video feed and light it up for a few seconds. It doesn't seem to affect all the animatronics, but it does affect one of them. One of them being the marionette. And for the rest of them, we have an easier solution. You see, there may be a minor glitch in the system. Something about the robot seeing you as an endoskeleton without its costume on, wanting to stuff you inside of a suit. So hey, we've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. But to be honest, I have a question. There's a room in FNAF 1 that Bonnie goes through, and there's a metal endoskeleton without its costume on in there. Why doesn't Bonnie stuff it in there? That's in the first one. I don't know why I'm going off topic. Anyway, when there's stuff you in the suit, so we've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved. You can put it on anytime, leave it on as long as you want. Eventually, anything that wandered in will wander back out. Anything else worth mentioning is that the quirky modern design of the building, you may have noticed there are no doors for you to close. But hey, you have a light, and even with that, your flashlight can run out of power, the building cannot. So don't worry about the place going dark. Yeah, that's really kind of it, right? Now, he says more about Willard Foxy. I love those old characters. Did you ever see Foxy the Pirate? Oh, Foxy. Hey, listen. Foxy he's always been a bit twitchy. Not sure the Freddy Fazbear head will work on Foxy. Try flashing your light at. I'm not reading it directly, but it's fine. Basically, on the second night, the Liberty animatronics come in. And now, also in this game, there are more. Sorry, I'm just checking right there. There are more Easter eggs to be uncovered. But the marionette, the puppet, some guy says that he's unusual. Or it affects one of them. He also says later that it's always staring or whatever, or something like that. So, obviously, he doesn't really have a great opinion about the puppet, but the puppet has been found out to be the daughter of Henry Emily, Charlotte Emily, which is more popular in the books than in the games, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, a puppet is possessed by a person who was killed by a guy named William Afton. Gary Purple guy. Kind of right there, but I also have another figure. Anyway, who cares? Basically, William Afton killed a few kids. He killed Charlie, and he also killed 5 kids. Then after that, he went to FNAF 1, which is what the first one is, and he killed 5 kids. Which Golden Freddy in Ultimate Custom Night, which we'll talk about later, is noted as the one that you shouldn't have killed. And for FNAF 2, there are several more animatronics. We have Toy Bonnie, Toy Freddy, and Toy Chica, who, if they go into your office, you can literally just put the mask on and they'll go away. There was supposed to be a Toy Foxy, but it ended up being all messed up because apparently it's a result of kids not, knowing how to do things right. Because it was supposed to be it was supposed to be a Toy Foxy, and then it also got kind of turned into an event for kids to play with, like, build your own animatronic, or just like a, act like you're building an animatronic or whatever. And so somehow the Mangle got possessed, and they called it the Mangle because it's just a mess of parts. If Mangle also wanders into your office, you can put the mask on for her to go out, or her or him to go out. He is just weird though because she has a walkie-talkie inside of his head. I don't know what you want to call it. And Mangle is also supposedly a Bite of 87 suspect, along with Toy Chica. Now, the reason Mangle is a suspect is because she comes from the top. His jump scare comes from the top of the ceiling of the office, and he bites down right here, basically getting your frontal lobe out. And the fact that she has a radio inside of his self, I don't know, has the fact that she could be the contender of the Bite of 87. Toy Chica also could be a contender or a suspect because in Ultimate Custom Night, one of her lines are, "Where's my beak? It's lodged in your forehead." Obviously referencing that once she gets off stage, her beak somehow pops off. Anywho, the puppet is rigged to be wound up, but if you don't wind it up, then you'll die. Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, and Withered Freddy are also animatronics that you can ward off with your mask. Balloon Boy is also an animatronic that will take away your batteries unless you put the mask on when they come in. But Withered Foxy is affected by Balloon Boy, so basically you have a flashlight, and if Withered Foxy's in the hallway, you have to flash him several times because the mask won't work on him. If Balloon Boy comes into your office, he will take away the batteries if you don't put the mask on in time, and taking away the batteries will result in you not being able to shine your flashlight at Withered Foxy, resulting in a jump scare and you die. More secret characters. There's a Withered Golden Freddy that's in the game. You can stop his jump scare or their jump scare, which actually kind of looks like a stupid superhero intro, by putting on the mask if you see them in your office or if you see them in the hallway, which they have a big ghostly head in the hallway for some reason. Or you can just you can also put the monitor up if they come in. There's also a secret animatronic called Shadow Freddy. He will appear in the Parts and Services room from, rarely. My favorite secret character, Shadow Bonnie. Ready for this pronunciation? I love calling him this. AKA RWQFSFASXC will appear in your office and has the same mechanic as Golden Freddy in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, where if you look at Golden Freddy for too long, then your game will crash. But if you look at RWQFSFASXC for too long, your game will crash, but you won't get jump scared by RWQFSFASXC. RWQFSFASXC and Shadow Freddy are also a little bit with the lore. They're more relevant in the third game, though. In FNAF 1, if you beat the custom night, you get fired for apparently tampering with the animatronics and odor. Your name is Mike Schmidt. And in the second game, you're Jeremy Fitzgerald, and I think you're also somebody else. Hold on. Maybe you guys. Jeremy Fitzgerald, and sorry about this. I'm just looking for it. And you get turned into Fritz Smith. So presumably, Jeremy Fitzgerald got switched to day shift by the end, but Fritz Smith gets fired as well for tampering with the animatronics and odor. Could be related to FNAF 1. He could have moved to the FNAF 1 location for some reason. In the third game, Five Nights at Freddy's 3, that takes place in 2023. Oh yeah, look, the years that take place in the FNAF games, I just say. FNAF 1, I'm pretty sure is 1990 something. It's something in the 90s or like at least past 1987. FNAF 2 takes place in 1987, and FNAF 3 takes place in 2023. Hey, that's this year! Basically, in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, you're working at a horror attraction called Fazbear Frights, which is based off the murders of FNAF 1 and 2. In FNAF 3, the first night actually isn't that bad. I'm like, what Markiplier said in FNAF 4. Anyway, you're working as a security guard in the game. You're posing as a security guard while being a security guard. Making sure people don't make out in the corners or anything. The first night isn't that bad, you know. There's a little bit extra. There's a little hallway window right here, or there's a little window, and then there's like a little door right here. And you have a panel right here, like if there's errors in your camera system. Within your camera system, there's going to be tons of errors with audio, visual, and ventilation. So you have a panel just in case there's things go off. And the cameras are right here. They can be a bit, you know, messy and everything. So the first night really actually isn't that bad in the game until night 2. You'll get these hallucinations of Phantom animatronics. There's Phantom Freddy, Phantom Foxy, Phantom Mangle, and Phantom Chica, and Phantom Balloon Boy, and the Phantom Marionette. Sorry, no Phantom Bonnie. Those phantoms will cause errors in your system if you don't do, or if you see them or not do what the proper thing is. Phantom Freddy walks across the hallway window, and if you don't look at the monitors or the little panel while he's there, you're gonna get jump scared, and he's gonna take out. I'm pretty sure it's. Hold on, it says it in here. Phantom Freddy will take out your ventilation. Phantom Chica, if you look at them on camera 7, which has an arcade, their face will show on from time to time, and you don't move out from there, then they're gonna disable your ventilation as well. Phantom Foxy though is on the left side of your office. Don't look at them when they're there, or else you're gonna get jump scared, and they're gonna disable the ventilation and cameras. Phantom Mangle will appear on camera 4 hanging from the ceiling, which if you see her for too long, then she causes audio disruptions and she will disable the audio too. Phantom Marionette will sometimes appear on camera 8, and he will also, if you have to switch back to the panel or a different camera, or else they'll come into your office, block your view, and be up in your face and disable audio and ventilation. Phantom Balloon Boy can appear in any camera except Vance. If you don't switch to another camera before you look at him for too long, you're going to get jump scared and he's going to disable the ventilation. Now, the only real animatronic is Springtrap, in which, remember William Afton? Well, he gets trapped into the springlock suit that he used to lure the kids. After coming across the ghosts of the kids, he tried to hide in there. And he accidentally trips the spring locks and he gets crushed in there, being his forever tomb. But wait, he stays alive. Anyway, he is trapped in there. He's been trapped in there for a while. And so it's 2023 and he's like, you know what, I need to take a big stretch. He goes out and you're there. He's looking for somebody fresh to kill. Basically, he is like technically the only real humanoid. Like, he's really the only kind of real Springlock failure, to be honest. But there could have been other ones. He's the only big Springlock failure that we know of. William Afton inside of Springtrap is the only guy who can kill you in FNAF 3. You can use audio lures to lure him into certain places so he doesn't come into your office. They use Balloon Boy's voice as a fact. But he can also go into the vents. You can also seal them off so he doesn't come in. But once he gets next to your door, you're late. It's game over. You're probably going to die. So, after that, there's FNAF 4. This is where the nightmares come in. FNAF 4 wasn't really meant to come around into, but people were saying that FNAF 3's jump scares weren't that scary. Which, in FNAF 4, no, they're a heck ton scarier. Basically, in FNAF 4, there's the Nightmare animatronics. The Nightmare animatronics consists of the normal roster of animatronics except Fredbear and Nightmare. FNAF 4 also consisted of many mini games that you could, not mini games, but they were end of night games that you would play through. Being a kid named the Crying Child, or people later came to find his name was Evan, who resulted in not the bite of 87, as Markiplier also says, but in the bite of 83. Basically, in FNAF 4, you are in a room, and there's a closet in front of you, a door on the left, and a door on the right. There's also a bed behind you. So Nightmare Freddy hides under the bed and sends out these little things called Freddles, which I call as kids. They're mini Nightmare Freddys. But if 3 of them pop on your bed for some time, then Nightmare Freddy will jump scare you. But if you shine the flashlight at them until they all go away, then you should be fine until there's more. On the right side of your door, Nightmare Chica, or on the right door, Nightmare Chica will appear. Only close the doors if you hear breathing. If you shine the flashlight in one of the animatronics' face, they're going to kill you. Unless they're Freddles, or Phantom Foxy. Or Nightmare Foxy, sorry. Same with Nightmare Bonnie, he appears on the left side. Again, only close the door if you hear breathing. If you shine the flashlight in his face, you're going to die. Now, Nightmare Foxy appears on night 2 of FNAF 4. He will get into your closet if you don't, keep the route. There's a route on the 2 doors. He'll go on each side quickly, but if you don't, check one side, he's going to come into your room, and then he's going to go into the closet. So, when he goes into the closet, you're going to be able to see him. He's either going to be crouching down at it, with his mouth open, or when you open it, he might, do a little tiny jump scare, but it's not going to kill you yet. And it's just going to be his mouth open. And then there's also one where his jaw's at the bottom, but he's standing up. And there's one where he's fully standing up, and then there's one where he's plush. We want to get to the one where he's a plush, though, because that means he can't really kill you. Fun fact, Nightmare Chica can send out Carl the Cupcake to kill you if you don't check on the door. But if you check on the door and get jump scared by Nightmare Chica, you're going to get jump scared by Nightmare Chica. There's no Golden Freddy appearance in this game, so as also in FNAF 3, but there's an animatronic called Nightmare Fredbear. Basically, Nightmare Fredbear can go anywhere he wants in the game. You can go on the left door, the right door, the closet, the bed, you know. And if you don't check on him every little bit, then you might die. He has a little laugh like Freddy's and Freddy Fazbear's in FNAF 1 that goes, and it's like kind of slower though. And then a couple nights, or a night after, I'm pretty sure it's a night after Nightmare, Fredbear, it can turn into Nightmare, which is a black, recolored version, I'm pretty sure, of Nightmare Fredbear. He has a yellow hat and a yellow bow tie, but his jump scare is kind of weird. It's just a still image, and it's a weird high-pitched noise, low-pitched noise, I don't know, in the background. There's speculating theory that there was the Bite of 87 in this game. It was not the Bite of 87. As an Easter egg in one of the after night, I think it's before night minigames, if you go into a room, into the living room, and there's a TV, if you click on it, it'll show a advertisement from Fredbear and Friends in 1983. And so each day is counting down to a party. Once you get to the day of the party, you are the curry chomp, and you know your birthday. So you're at Fredbear's Family Diner, and your big brother teased you. And so he and his friends put the crying child into the mouth of Fredbear, and he chomped down and committed what's called the Bite of 83. No Markiplier, it was not the Bite of 87, it was the Bite of 83. Now, Nightmare Fredbear is obviously a nightmare version of Fredbear, consisting of what the boy had seen in his dream, or had happened to the boy. Basically, you are having the nightmares of your past, apparently. Also, so remember in FNAF 2 when it said the old location, it wasn't referring to the FNAF 1 location, obviously because it's a prequel, but it's referring to Fredbear's Family Diner, which was a previous location, and I think that's actually what started the whole franchise of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. That must refer to what the events were, what he said, people had a negative impression on the company for that situation and what happened there. Anyway, after that, you were said to be playing as either him or his brother. I think it's actually him. His name's Evan. And there's some Easter eggs, fun fact, I have one of these, where if you turn onto the bed, there'll either be a pill bottle, an IV, or a vase of flowers. Meaning, he's obviously in the hospital, and he's dying. Because he got bit. Like, he got his whole freaking head chopped, you know? There's also a mini game called Fun with Plush Trap, basically to give you more, or like lessen your nights. You're still working, you're still going from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. But if you win the Fun with Plush Trap game, is there's 2 doors on your side, and there's a little chair with plush stuff on it. This is literally just a plush version of Springtrap. He'll run around after you have a flashlight. He'll run around if you just turn your flashlight off, and there's an X. And if you stop him on the X, then you won it. You get 2 hours less of the game. You'll start at 12 a.m. or 2 a.m. But if you either don't pay a lot of attention to Plush Trap, or if you don't get him on the X before the timer runs out, then you're going to get jump scared and you're going to be left up at 12 a.m. There was a DLC, though, for the game, and it was a Halloween DLC, you know, just a couple of reskins. There's Jacko Chica, Jacko Bonnie. Actually, Jacko Chica had a Jacko Lantern with her. We had Nightmare Mangle. We had... who was behind her? I don't remember who was... Nightmare Freddy, the recolor, or the redesign from the DLC. Everything is split along. Hold on. The DLC. In DLC, I think Nightmare Freddy is still Nightmare Freddy. But in the DLC, instead of Plush Trap, it's Nightmare Balloon Boy, same concept, Stop and Max. There's Nightmare On for Nightmare, which Nightmare On is literally just a different just a different marionette. It's more nightmarish. I think Fredbear is also the same, or Nightmare Fredbear is also the same as well. Oh, sorry, Shrek. Alright. So this game also sparked a lot of theories and everything. People were starting to call Fredbear Golden Freddy, which is not the case. Obviously, there's a big difference in correlation. Fredbear has a purple hat and a purple bow tie rather than black hat and black bow tie. Anyway, this is for location. The next game, which kind of went weird with the series. It's quoted as the downfall of the series because the series becomes more silly and everything, willy-nilly and everything. So when the game started not to get scary. Sister location, you're basically, you don't have to sit and stay in an office or a bedroom in this one. You basically go around this place called Circus Babies Entertainment and Rentals, which is said to be underneath the FNAF 4 location, because there are, and if you look at the cameras, there's a part, I'll just get onto it. So you start in this elevator with this handpad that reads Mike, and you're also playing as Michael Afton, who was William Afton's son. He was also the one that kind of put Evan, or the cunning child, in the head of Fredbear in FNAF 4. Feeling bad about that, and feeling bad about his dad, who killed these people and started this whole thing. In Sister Location. Sister Location, you were in an elevator going down to this place where his dad, I guess, got into, or he wanted to set some souls free. So he goes in there, and there's this little place. There's Ballora Gallery, and there's Funtime Auditorium. There's a vent, and another vent that leads you to these places. There's also a vent in front of you, which leads you to, what is the Circus Babies area called? The Circus Gallery. Basically, there's a circus control room in there, and that's where, Baby tends to stay. Starts off with you giving Ballora and Funtime Foxy a controlled shock. Ballora is literally just this dancing ballerina, supposed to symbolize William Afton's wife. She has little, those little art gummies that people use? She has little kind of those, but they have weird white faces they're called mini Rinas. And they dance with it and everything. And in Funtime Auditorium, there's Funtime Foxy. Then once you go into Circus Gallery, you have to check for Baby, but Baby's not going to be there. Heck, you barely even get to see Baby in the entire game. after that, your date's done, and you go back home and you watch some of this Dead and the Rest. I'm pretty sure is what the show is called. It's about a vampire who and a married vampire and a wife who are trying to figure out if the baby is if he had a baby or if his wife had a baby or something, and they're arguing over custody of this kid while you're eating popcorn and watching it. That's something kind of hilarious. Anyway, after that you go for night 2. Ballora decides to be on her stage, I'm pretty sure, and Funtime Foxy is on his stage. Night 2. Sorry, this game is pretty big. In night 2, in night 2, you try to reboot up Circus Baby again, but she won't work. And then the power goes off in the circus gallery, and you have to hide under a desk with a little metal sheet with little holes in it. So with the little holes, there's these things called biddy bags, which are kind of Circus Baby's mini Lunas, that will poke their eyes through the little holes, and they're gonna pull the little sheet of metal away from you. But if you don't pull, then they're gonna kill you. Like if you don't like pull the sheet of metal towards you and like cover you, then they're gonna kill you. But if you do, then you're safe. Basically, after that, after the biddy bags retreat, the hand unit is going to apparently tell you when you go through the Ballora gallery to run very fast and do it in a short amount of time. While Circus Baby tells us, oh yeah, we hear a lot of Circus Baby's voice rather than see it in this game. Circus Baby tells us to go slow and listen for Ballora's music as she passes by. Ballora has like a little, little music box inside of her. It's not like the Tour March music box that Freddy Fazbear has, or the music box that the Marionette has, which is actually called My Grandfather's Clock. I don't know what Ballora's music box is called, but she's a ballerina, she's gonna have a music clock coming. Basically, you go through Ballora gallery, and you have to go to Funtime Freddy's place. I forget what it's called. It's called the Break Room, where Funtime Freddy is. And so, as you're walking there, Ballora will, occasionally pass by you. If you don't listen for her music and keep advancing, and her music gets really loud, you're gonna get jump scared. But if you listen for her music and stop when it gets closer, and then go when it gets farther, then you're fine. Anyway, when you go into the break room, Funtime Freddy is there and active. Basically, you have to fix all these power things in there, because remember how the power went out? You have to go back to the breaker room, and you have to fix everything so it'll be all good. This is the part where you pull up the cameras and you can see places from FNAF 4. There is the room that you're in FNAF 4 that you're trying to, wear off the animatronics. There's the Fun with Plush Rat place, and then there's the place where the house exits where you go to the party, your party in the game. But Funtime Freddy will, move around. Although, there are little flashes of, lights. They're like wires and, short circuits and sparks and everything. That's the only way you can see Funtime Freddy. You can ward him off, though. Well, actually, Bon Bon, his hand puppet, will ward him off by saying, go back to sleep. It was probably just a mouse, and stuff like that. Go back to your stage. Stuff like that, But when you open the panel for, the breaker room, there's going to be little noises that'll, make Funtime Freddy come towards you. Of course, if you don't check, too much, then you're going to get killed. But if you, do it slowly and steady, then you're going to be fine. After that, you're going to go back through Ballora Gallery and do the same thing, and then once you exit, you're going to go back home and watch more of that stupid show. That's soap opera. The third night, you check on Ballora and Funtime Foxy again, and you go through Funtime Auditorium, which is kind of like going through Ballora Gallery, except you don't have to rely on sound. Funtime Foxy, she is motion detected. So when he sees something, then she will start going toward it. That's why they give you a little flash beacon, where you can see where she's at, or if he's trying to kill you. After you make it across Funtime Auditorium, you're going to make it into the Parts and Services room, where you're going to be doing maintenance on Funtime Freddy. Now, doing maintenance on Funtime Freddy should be relatively easy until you get to Bon Bon. Bon Bon will, is kind of shy of being worked on. So, if you have a flashlight in there, if you slowly inch up to Bon Bon's nose where the button is that you have to press to, get it all situated, or click everything, get the job done, I don't know what it's called, to do maintenance on Funtime Freddy, you're not supposed to go fast on it, right? Or else if you keep going fast, and Bon Bon's gonna just keep disappearing and moving around, and then you're gonna die by Bon Bon. But if you slowly inch the mouse toward her nose, and you tap it, then you're fine. Basically, after this, you have to go back through Funtime Auditorium with the only canon jump scare. Oh, one of the only canon jump scares in the game, or in the games. You'll flash your beacon a couple times and notice that Funtime Foxy is never appearing. As soon as you keep running, and towards the end, you're going to get jump scared by Funtime Foxy. You can't avoid it, it's obvious. Or it's not obvious, it's canon. You have to get jump scared. You're going to wake up, no Dead and Restless, no popcorn. You're going to wake up in a spring lock suit that you have been put in. Circus Baby will open the faceplate so that, the people in the company can see that you're still there, but you have to line up the spring lock so that you don't die. And apart from that, since the faceplates are open, Ballora just got scooped. Yes, you're in the scooping room, which is a place where people get animatronics innards out, to do, service on it. Basically, the mini arenas are in there with Ballora. And so, the mini arenas will crawl up your suit and try and get to you. Shake them off, but if you don't, then you're going to get jump scared by one and die. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. I don't know how a little toy could kill you. Unless they're like trigger hazard pre-existing or not. Anyway, after that, you're going to finish that stuff, and then I'm pretty sure that night's over. Yes. Night 5, you're going to look in. Well, engineers came the previous night to do maintenance on Ballora and Funtime Foxy. You come back into the Circus Baby Rentals, or Circus Babies Entertainment and Rentals. You're discovering that they have hung themselves. Or maybe they didn't hang themselves, maybe somebody hung them, I don't know. You're gonna go in there, and so since Funtime Foxy and Ballora aren't on stage, then, wow. Well, they've both been scooped, I'm pretty sure. So, you're gonna go into Funtime Auditorium. Actually, no, Funtime Foxy might be back in session, I don't know. And you're gonna have to go through the Funtime Auditorium and go back into the maintenance room to do stuff on Baby, which is like literally the only appearance of Baby that we ever get in this full game. We're gonna do maintenance on her, and so we have to type in all this stuff. If you mess up on one thing, you're gonna get jump scared, but not by Baby. You're gonna get jump scared by a weird endoskeleton. After that, you'll be guided to the scooping room, where there's a weird animatronic standing outside the window. Basically, they said that they scooped you to get inside your body to be disguised, so that as they can go out in the world with themselves and wreak havoc. It was called the Immortal and the Restless. Basically, there's another ending where there's some things that you have to do to get it. I forgot what to do, but you get directions to go into the wrong room, and basically this starts your whole boss fight with Ennard. Ennard is a weird clown animatronic. It's only like a white faceplate with all these metal tangles and everything. Enter will, it's kind of like FNAF 1, but there's a vent in the front that's closable. There's 2 doors and a vent in the front and monitors and everything. You also have limited power though, but you can close the 2 doors to stop Enter from coming in, and you can close the vent to stop Enter from coming in. Now also, after you beat that, you're gonna go home and watch The Immortal and the Restless, and then Ender will come in and decide to try and join you on TV. Basically, if after you've done that, like beat Sister Location and everything, there's a custom night with Funtime Freddy. Funtime Freddy, Bon Bon, Yendo, Ballora, Mini Renas, Bitty Babs, Electro Babs, Enter, Lolbit, and Bonnet. I think that's it. Basically, it's literally just like normal custom night, like the FNAF 2 Ultimate, or FNAF 2 custom night, but it's just a location. I don't know, let me look at all the characters here. I'm not going to be able to remember them by heart. Basically, there's 2 sets of mini Renas. One set of mini Renas will play with the power supply to cut the electric down a little bit. You can give them a controlled shock to help them stop. Along with Electro Babs, they do that as well. It's literally Bitty Babs, but they're like different. Mini Renas will come across your face, blocking your view, which you cannot stop them. A little bit was supposed to be an Easter egg in the game, like a rare Easter egg that will pop up in the control room. But they made it so basically in the custom night, they'll appear on your computer, your monitor screens, and you have to type in LOL, or else you're going to get distorted disruptions of audio and visual cues. Bitty Bab will appear in the vents. You must close the vents on the Bitty Bab so that they don't jump scare you. Bonnet will come across your screen. It's a pink Bon Bon hand puppet, and if you have to tap its nose so that it'll go away, or else you're going to get jump scared. Funtime Foxy has the same mechanics as Foxy in the first game. Keep the camera on them. Close the door if they run. Yendo is literally just the Enter isn't in this. I thought he was. Yendo is basically the endoskeleton of Funtime Freddy. They have the same Golden Freddy mechanic. They have the Golden Freddy mechanic, but like they won't jump scare you. They'll just take away they'll take away oxygen and power. But flip up your monitor if they're right there. Funtime Freddy will shout, "Hey Bon Bon, go!" Well, either "Hey Bon Bon, go get him," or it's like, or if he says, what is it? Surprise! Then you're going. Well, he either shouts, "Bon Bon, go get him," or "Surprise." If he says surprise, close the opposite door. And if he says Bon Bon, go get him, or something like that, then close the door that you hear it on. Basically, he throws Bon Bon at you. That's why you hear like a when you he eats dog when you hear it on the door. And there's Ballora. If you hear her noise coming, if you hear a music box coming from the left or the right, close the door, whichever you hear it on. That about wraps it up for the gameplay. Oh, there's also little secrets in the end of the game. So you're Mike laughing, right? You're walking and there's some cutscenes where you're walking across the street, and there's like happy music, and every day you're gonna get a little bit darker, and people are gonna be like, because there's people outside. And they're leaving at first, and some are like, and they're like hiding behind houses and stuff. You're walking and you start turning purple. That's obviously because you're a corpse, but you have animatronics inside of you. Now, at the last one, you like throw them up into a sewer, but somehow you like stay alive. It's weird. That's something that has to do with I forgot what it's called. remnant inside of them, which is what makes the animatronics live, technically. It's like soul juice, I guess. Although 5-time animatronics, though, are confirmed to be used to lure kids and kill them use them to experiment on or kill them. Circus Baby is one of William Afton's animatronics that is called Tragedy. So, his daughter, Elizabeth, really liked Circus Baby. So one day, she got a little too close to Circus Baby, so Circus Baby snatched her into her stomach and killed her. Previously, Circus Baby's eyes were a different color, but then I think they were red or blue. But then they changed to green, because Elizabeth Afton's eyes were green, and now she possesses it, which gave Afton an idea, right? So, like, he used it, Circus Baby, to attract women, and everything. The next game is Pizzeria Simulator. Excuse me. Basically, you own a restaurant, a Freddy Fazbear Pizza. And you can, use business as much as you, want. It's more of like a choose your own way game. Because this game has, tons of endings. But basically, there's animatronics that you can buy and get off of little shops in the game, and you make your own pizzeria. Basically, at the end of every shift, or at the end, every day after you're done, it's like a little tycoon game, but after every day you're done your little tycoon, then you're going to go into an office and get printing done. Now there's two vents, one right there and one right there, which, how do I say this? At night 2, if you salvage a certain animatronic, which is Molten Freddy, I'm pretty sure, which means you can get him for tons of money, which will help your pizzeria, but kind of not help it in the downfall. And if you get jump scared by him, and when you're salvaging him, then he's let loose in your office, or in your pizzeria you don't get any money off of it. Anyway, in Pizzeria Simulator, you have two vents to the left and right of you, and there's also a lot of noise in your office. So you have to get these little tasks done, but if there's tons of noise being made, then the animatronic will most likely try to, come reach you and be like, yo, you're being too loud, and kill you. Excuse me, I keep writing. Basically, there's little ads and everything that'll pop up on your thing, and if it's too loud, then you're probably gonna die. You can use sound noise to lure the animatronics away from you, because you can see the vents on the cameras. And there's also what's it called? There's also a switch where you can turn the ventilation off and on in the office, just in case you hear sound you don't like. If you look at the animatronics in your office, then they'll stop moving, or on the vents. Or you can use a flashlight if you hear something in there. But if they get too close to you, then you're dead. The second night you're going to be able to salvage, pretty sure it's Scrap Trap, which is Springtrap, but he's burnt, because FNAF 3, he burnt down the place. Yes, he did. Yeah?
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Alright, I need you to stop for a little bit.
Alright.
I need you to put the dishes away, and I've got a project for you. We need to do laundry.
I know. I moved it around so I can look for it.
Okay. Record later. I need you to do these things. Get these drinks out of here.
Can't stop. I'll finish up this game and then pause this. Anyway, you salvage Springtrap, or Scrap Trap, which is William Afton burnt down from FNAF 3. And so he does the same mechanics as Molten Freddy, and then you're going to get more of those animatronics and you're going to do the same thing. However, there's certain mini games that you can play that will give you more lore accuracy. There's a game called the Fruity Maze game where you run around as a little girl with a blonde girl in the background that's smiling, and you're collecting cherries and fruits and everything. Later after that, you start picking out dead dogs with fruits and everything, and she starts to frown. After that, she's frowning really badly, and there's a animatronic rabbit in the background with dead dogs, boxes, and flowers. Resembling that, William Afton used dead dogs and flowers and stuff to lure Suzy. Oh yeah, basically, this goes through what happens at the games. There's another mini game called Midnight Motorist, which is basically about what happened to William Afton and how he killed the first kid. He's just if you go through a little secret exit on Midnight Motorist, then you're drunk and like you go on this road. I don't know all about the lore of Midnight Motorist. But all that happened is a kid escaped or they got lured away. I don't know. And then the security puppet minigame, you play as the puppet and you possess Charlie. Now bear with me as I go leave the room for a little bit to do something. I'll do it as quick as I can. So I'm about to call into a crawl space, but you're gonna have to give me a minute. To get dressed appropriately, I'm gonna take off my fnaf stuff. And put on a new pair of sweatpants. Jump out of plane and do this. The great switch up. Alright, back to where I was. Guess you just changed a little bit. I'm about to have to go back out though. So the animatronics that can appear in events are Scrap Baby, who is Circus Baby, but after, we barked it up in civilization. Scrap Trap is William Afton after being caught on fire after being spring locked, Lefty is the puppet inside of a animatronic bear that was used to capture the puppet. Lefty is actually supposed to be spelled like L-E-F-T-E. Lure, encapsulate, fuse, something. A rare set of posters show these. Need to find it though. Lefty stands for lure, encapsulate, fuse, transport, and extract. Basically meaning to lure, encapsulate, fuse, transfer, and extract the puppet, or the soul inside the puppet. Who's Charlotte Emily. Lefty was designed by Henry Emily to get his donor set free. Molten Freddy is entered inside of Funtime Freddy, but using his, head for this. I don't know why. And at the end of Pizzeria Simulator, Henry Emily drops a banger speech. He sets the place on fire and sets everybody's souls free except William Afton's. Hence, there's also little screens with them burning up. There's two ones with metal little doors and one with wooden. The one with wooden is Scrap Trap. The other ones with metal are the animatronics. So that means they want William Afton to just suffer all the pain he can. Which brings us to Ultimate Custom Night, where the person. Oh yeah, hold on, sorry. The end credits. There's a scene that can be only that can really be seen, but you can also determine if you can get it or not. It's rare. Basically, they have gravestones that say, I can probably get this. Hold on, I'm just gonna look at it. The gravestones that show the names, which are obviously the names of the kids who've been killed. The names are Gabriel, Fritz, Susie, and Jeremy. whom fans believe to be the victims of the original killings. There's one in the background of a tree that's kind of hard to read, but everybody presumes it's Charlotte. And so there was a book also in FNAF series where people found out that there was a fifth. We already knew there was another grave that was hidden behind grass. That the one you shouldn't have killed, who's named that Ultimate Custom Night, her name's Cassidy, which was a more violent murder that William Afton did than any of the other ones. Ultimate Custom Night. You're playing as William Afton in Living Hell by the other animatronics, or by Cassidy is really put you in Living Hell. You're against 50 animatronics plus a couple more because there's animatronics that are getting sent in rarely, or if you play 50-20 mode, which is basically all the animatronics, all 50 animatronics are at 20, and then there's going to be extra animatronics added in during the night. It's really hard to beat, but it's possible, but it's really hard. There's some screens, but there's some lore behind this. So there's this guy named I forgot his name. I don't know how. Man of Consequences. Something of Consequences. Oh, Man of Consequences. Yes. He is like a fisher. He's a fisherman. He's fishing, and he's like retro, and he's like all red. If you set him at 1 and you catch his fish, then you basically are going to get sent into this little place where there's a lake, and he's like, come and sit a while. Leave all your things to rest and everything. So you go in there, and you can also drown yourself in it. You can hear somebody screaming in the background as well. There's also these things called death coins that you can use on the animatronics to eliminate them. If you set Golden Freddy at 1 and you get a death coin, if you put it on Golden Freddy, it'll turn into Fredbear for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's corresponding with the way that people, thought the animatronics are, like animatronics Fredbear and Golden Freddy are similar. They're not really, they're just colored kind of close. XOR is a version of DD, aka Shadow DD. DD isn't Living Nightmare as well because they will send in animatronics when you're playing. You can use DD Repel to get rid of DD though. But the XOR only will only most definitely appear in 50-20 mode, but can rarely appear in normal mode. They give out all the rare animatronics in the game. So let me get a list. Let me give you guys a list. A list of the animatronics in Ultimate Custom Night. We have Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie and Foxy, Chica, Golden Freddy, Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Withered Bonnie, Toy Chica, Withered Chica, Mangold, the Puppet, Boom Boy, and JJ. JJ was an Easter egg in FNAF 2. I forgot to mention it, but they just hide under the desk. There's nothing big about them. Springtrap, Phantom Mangle, Phantom Freddy, Phantom BB, Freddles, Nightmare Fredbear, and Nightmare, Nightmare Bonnie, and Nightmare Mangle, Jacko Chica, Nightmare Yon, Nightmare Boom Boy, Molten Freddy, Scrap Baby, Scrap Trap, William Afton, Scrap Trap / William Afton, Lefty, Phone Guy, we all know him, Trash in the Gang, who's also featured in Pizzeria Simulator as things you can buy, Old Man Consequences, Helpy, was like one of the little cute bears in Pizzeria Simulator, DD, RWQ FSFA Sexy, rare animatronic, Plush Trap, rare animatronic, Bonnet, rare animatronic, Nightmare Chica, rare animatronic, Mini Rias, rare animatronic, and Mulbit, rare animatronic, Fredbear. We also have the entire set of the, oh, I missed out a little thing, sorry. The Circus Baby Buller, Funtime Foxy, entered Happy Frog, Mr. Hippo, and Pig Patch, Nightmare, Orville Elephant. Happy Frog to Orville Elephant are the mediocre melodies who are featured in FNAF Pizzeria Simulator, which can be used as animatronics on your stage to attract more people. They're kind of weird though. They're like off-brand Rockstar Freddy, Rockstar Bonnie, Rockstar Chica, Rockstar Foxy, L-Chip, Music Man, and Bunsen Chica are in Pizzeria Simulator as well. Animatronics you can buy. So, in this game, people have death lines. You know what? No, I'm gonna give off what you do for each animatronic. Freddy will appear on the left hallway. Oh, it's set up like FNAF 1, just so you know. Freddy will appear on the left hallway, close the door on him so he won't kill you. Bonnie shares a pirate's code. Yeah? No, I don't do that. Bonnie shares pirate's code with Foxy, and okay, so I'm there, so I'm getting splintered. Bonnie shares pirate's code with Foxy, crediting him in. If you look at Bonnie while he's on pirate's code, then you're gonna get your cameras disabled for a little bit. You're gonna be able to know what animatronics which, because there's a figure on the desk that will either be Bonnie or Foxy. Foxy will slip pieces of himself into your office. But you have to check camera 5 to make sure that he doesn't slip pieces of himself in your office, but if he does, he's gonna kill you. Bonnie is actually harmless, he can't kill you, but, you know. Chico will be in the kitchen, they will be cleaning pots and pans. If they don't find the music box that's on there quite soothing, then they're gonna stop banging pots and pans, and you have to you have to do a different music box. And if you don't, then you're gonna die. Golden Freddy, same mechanic as the other ones. You put either the mask on or the monitor up. Toy Freddy, he plays 5 Nights at Mr. Hugs. Mr. Hugs is a animatronic or a little thing, a piece of trash. He's a vacuum cleaner from Trash and Gang. You can only close one door at a time on the game, but if you lose in his game, then he's gonna jump scare you. Which, in one of his lines, if I get jump scared, you get jump scared. Toy Bonnie and Withered Bonnie, same mechanics as in FNAF 2, put on the mask. Toy Chica, same mechanic as in FNAF 2, put on the mask. Withered Chica will enter your office. Oh wait. Yeah. Withered Chica enter your office with events. You can block her using the vent snare, but if she blocks it, then she's gonna block the animatronics from coming in, except Mango that use the vents. She's eventually gonna wiggle free and kill you though if she's stuck. Mango. You can close her using the vent snare, or you can close her off using the vent snare. If she gets in, then she'll hang in your office for a little bit before she ends up killing you. The marionette or the puppet, same mechanic as in FNAF 2, when the music box fails to die. Balloon Boy and JJ. Balloon Boy will sneak into your office and not let you use your flashlight. JJ will sneak in your office like Balloon Boy. Oh yeah, you have to. I'm pretty sure the. Yeah, you have to use the vent snare. Close the vent. If they get into your office, you have to close the vent so that they don't get in. Balloon Boy will disable your flashlight like in FNAF 2, but JJ has a mechanic and will disable your doors for a little bit. Same with Balloon Boy, he'll disable the light, your flashlight for a little bit, not the doors. JJ does the doors, Balloon Boy does lights. Springtrap will climb in from the front vent, close the door when you see him. He does it quietly, so you have to look at him. Phantom Mangle will appear at random in your monitor. Close the monitor, switch viewing modes, and he'll disappear. Leave her for too long, and he'll come in your office and make noise. They won't kill you. I don't think, yeah, none of the phantoms can kill you in this one. Phantom Freddy materializes at random in your office. Shine your flashlight at him to make him go away. Phantom Blue appears at random on your monitor. Close the monitor, switch viewing modes to avoid jump scare and blackout. Freddles will activate in your office at random. Shine the flashlight to make them disappear. If too many Freddles accumulate, Nightmare Freddy will jump scare you. Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare appear as a duo. Fredbear appears on the left doorway and Nightmare on the right. Shut the doors as soon as you see their glowing eyes and hear a deep laugh sound. Nightmare Bonnie and Nightmare Mangle, you have to purchase their plushes. Each attack from once per night from the right hall to fend them off. Purchase their plush toys on camera. 7 with fast coins. The amount varies based on their difficulty. As the heat rises in the office, Jacko Chico will appear on the right and left doors at the same time. Close the doors before the temperature reaches 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Nightmare Mariana appears at random in different areas of the office and avoid leaving your cursor on it. Nightmare Balloon Boy sits slumped over in your office. Do not shine the flashlight on him when he's sitting over. Instead, flash it on him when he's sitting up, or else you will result in a jump scare. Circus baby attacks only once per night from the right hop. Fend her off by purchasing her plush pin on camera 7. Blow approaches from the left or right hall, disabling your camera feeds. Listen to her music, determine which side she's coming from, and close the correct door. Funtime Foxy hides behind the curtain in Funtime 2. The sign outside, let's say showtime. When Funtime Foxy will find you. Watch her as the time approaches and until the time passes. This will buy you a few hours until the new time is listed. And it approaches from the vents and can be only tracked in motion. Close the vents when you hear speeding noise. Happy Frog, Mr. Hippo, and Pig Patch. Open the duct system and hoses to drop into your office. Use the duct system and hoses to drop into your office. An audio lure will keep Happy Frog away. Other heater or audio lure can be used to deter Mr. Hippo and Pig Patch. Ned Bear also uses the duct system and hoses, but he is only freed by the audio decoy half of the time. Use heat to deter him. Orbell Elephant is the same as the other mediator animatronics, but he's only fooled by audio 10% of the time, and is much faster. Use the heater to repel him. Rockstar Freddy remains in your office when he activates. He'll demand, please deposit 5 coins. Turn up the heat or make him malfunction. Rockstar Bonnie appears in your office without his guitar. Find and double click on the camera system to make him go away. Or find and double click it on the camera system to make him go away. Rockstar Chica visits outside the left or right doorway. Double click the wet floor sign and put it in front of the door to make her leave. Rockstar Foxy Parrot will fly across the screen in your office. If you click it, Rockstar Foxy will appear and either jump scare you or offer one of 4 upgrades, adding 1% to your power. Resetting the office temperature to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, soundproofing the office, or granting you 10 fast coins. L-Trip periodically interrupts you with advertisements for restaurant L-Trip's Fiesta Buffet. Click skip or press enter to get rid of them. The higher the difficulty, the more often his ads will appear. Make a lot of noise and Music Man becomes active, eventually jump scare you. Reducing noise will make him calm down. Funtime Chica will occasionally appear and pose, accompanied by camera flashes which will disorient you. Molten Freddy is the fastest of the vent animatronics. Close the vent when you hear his laugh. Scrap Baby appears by the side desk, slumped over only once per night. Only shock her if you see her move, as it will drain 1% of your power. Scrap Hot has slowly laughed and attacks only once per night. From the right vent, close the vent and you hear a loud clamoring sound and flickering lights. I always come back. Lefty stays in the closet on camera 3. If the office becomes too noisy or too hot, he'll jump scare you. Soothe him by switching on the global music box and watch your power supply. Phone guy, hello, phone guy's calls make noise. You have a few seconds to mute his call, or you have to listen to his entire message. Trash and the gang appear in the office at random and create loud noise while blocking your screen. Mr. Can-Do appears on the camera. There's a chance that Old Man Consequences sub-screen will appear on the top left corner of your screen. The goal is to press C to catch the fish when the fish is on the red dot. If you catch the fish, the screen disappears. Otherwise, your camera will be inaccessible for some time. Help appears in the top right corner of your office on the back desk. Click on him to avoid being jump scared with an air horn. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. DD appears at random and adds new animatronics to your game difficulty. Add difficulty levels 1 through 10. So you can either add a character from a start screen or a special character from our own roster. RWQFSFASXC make your office go dark for 10 seconds straight once per night. Plush Cop appears on camera 6 sitting on his chair. Scare him away by clicking on. Bonnie walks across the screen at random. Click your nose or you'll be jump scared. Hammer Cheeker's jaws will close slowly around your field of vision until he jump scares you. Stop her by using the heater or power the AC. 4 mini-meters will cover your screen for 1 in-game hour. Lowbit will cause an audio disturbance. To clear it, quickly type LOL. Fredbear can be summoned by setting all animatronics to 0 and go to Freddy to 1. If DD summons another animatronic, you'll need to restart the night. Purchase a death coin with 10 fast coins and wait for Golden Freddy to show up. When he does, use the death coin on him and he'll be jump scared by Fredbear. Alright. I'm glad I had to get all that stuff done. Basically, sorry. You're going around with all these people crowding it, right? Or, Cassidy's revenge. The one you shouldn't have killed. There's Easter eggs of a little girl's face in either the vents or the doors. Basically, there's also quotes and lines like, Chica says that she was the first, because she was the first one killed. Mangle and some other animatronics will be like, saying stuff and it'd be like, this is from the one that you should not have killed. The marionette says stuff like, she has a soft voice, but like she's always saying stuff. I don't know how to explain it. And then we also have Mr. Hippo, whose jump scare and death lines are kind of unskippable and hilarious. He will lecture you about his friend Orville when they went to get some bread and go to a pond. Or no, when they were walking and they saw people at a pond feeding ducks fried sourdough bread. When they fed the ducks sourdough bread, they were like, he was like, "Hey Orville, did you know that if you feed ducks, no, I don't know. He was just talking about sourdough bread and stuff. It gets annoying. So this game kind of sets that stuff kind of straight. After Ultimate Custom Menu, I'm pretty sure it's Help Wanted. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about little cutscenes that you can get if you get enough points. There's cutscenes that you can get if you get enough points. Toy Chica, the high school years, it's like literally a drama about Chica Toy Chica writing in her diary about boys she likes and how she can get them in her house. There's a reference to how William Afton got Lord Susie to kill her by saying, "Oh, your dog died." She says that I can lure him, she was talking about a boy, and she was like, "I can lure him into my house by saying that their dog ran over and inviting them in." There's also a piece in the background of, like a bag of garbled up pieces from the boys that she has dated, saying that she destroyed them. I don't know how to say it. Also, there's another cutscene with Freddy, Fazbear, and Foxy. With a little there's a little like Mangle scene in it too. It's meant to be some kind of Japanese anime, and they're always talking about weird stuff. Eventually making Freddy have to do a chore for Foxy because he fails every time. Like, he'll fail to beat him every time. Although, apparently the Japanese language they use isn't really match up with the captions. I haven't heard it yet or anything, or I've heard it, but like, I haven't translated it yet or anything, so I'll have to figure it out later. Anyway, I forgot to give some information about Candy Cadet in Pizzeria Simulator. Candy Cadet is a guy who will tell you a story. In Pizzeria Simulator, most of the stories revolve around people sewing things together to get the benefit of something. There was one where there was this guy who had 5 orphans, and somebody killed them all, so he sewed them all together because he could only afford one coffin. There was one where this kid had a pet snake, and he had 5 cats that he had just bought. Snake ate them, and he cut the snake open and stitched the 5 cats together and put it back in a box and buried it. And there was one where this woman was trapped in a room, and there were 5 keys. Only one key could save. Like, there were 5 kids and 5 keys, and the kids were in 5 rooms, and she was in one room, not one of the 5. There was 6 rooms, and she was in one of the rooms, but she had to determine which one stayed and which one lived. She melted all the keys together to make it so that she could supposedly save all the kids, but it didn't even work anymore at this point, and so all 5 of the kids died. So it's all revolving around fusing something together, although for the benefit of nothing, and 5 things died. So the books kind of do this reference a lot better. The books circle around Charlotte Epley, who is Henry's daughter, but it's in the form of the books. So in the books, we have her and her friends. And so, in the Silver Eyes, 10 years after the murders at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, here, I'll just read the back. 10 years after the horrific murders at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they ripped their child apart. Charlie, whose father owned the restaurant, and her childhood friends reunite on the anniversary of the tragedy and find themselves at the old pizza place, which had been locked up and abandoned for years. After they discovered a way inside, they realized that things are not as they used to be. The 4 adult-sized animatronic mascots that once entertained patrons have changed. They now have a dark secret and a murderous agenda. Now, with that being said, this shows that. Sorry, I have to adjust these. It shows that Charlie has dealt with loss, and there were murders. So it's kind of canon with games, not fully canon. But so they meet up with this guy after they've been in the mall. Freddy Fazbear's is closed in the mall, so they meet up with the security guard like the third day there, and so after they see him, the animatronics at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza start acting wacky. They eventually find out that he's the killer of the kids after he tries to kill one of them. And so that's why the animatronics started malfunctioning. We also go in depth of how Henry died. We don't really know though. As I said, the books aren't fully canon with the games. Now in the second one, the Twisted ones, it's been a year since the horrific events at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and Charlie is just trying to move on. Even with the excitement of a new school and a fresh start, she's still haunted by the nightmares of a mass murder and 4 gruesome animatronic puppets. Charlie thinks her ordeal is over, but when a series of bodies is discovered near her school, bearing wounds that are disturbingly familiar, she finds herself drawn back into the world of Freddy Fazbear's, of her father's frightening creations. Something twisted is hunting Charlie, and this time, if it finds her, it's not letting her go. So, basically, William Afton designed these animatronics to go and hunt Charlie down and kill her, which it kind of works. In the end, she dies. But don't worry, she's brought back in the 4th closet. What really happened to Charlie? It's the question that John can't seem to shake, along with the nightmares of Charlie seeing death and miraculous reappearance. John just wants to forget about the whole terrifying saga of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but the past isn't so easily buried. Meanwhile, there's a new animatronic pizzeria opening in Hurricane, along with a new rash of kidnappings that feel all too familiar. Bound together by their childhood loss, John reluctantly teams up with Jessica, Marla, and Carlton, people from the old books, to solve the case and find the missing children. Along the way, they'll unravel the twisted mystery of what really happened to Charlie and the haunting legacy of her father's creations. Basically, Charlie was the one that died instead of her twin, and so Henry created little things so that what's called the 4th closet, because Charlie had these 3 closets in the first one, and so there was a toy that was like the size of her when she was younger. It simulated, or it portrayed her as a younger kid, and so they figure out that there's a couple versions of Charlie. There was one went to simulate when she was at a younger stage, one to simulate when she started getting older, and one to simulate a teenager stage, and one to simulate adult stage. The one that simulated the adult stage, though, was kind of evil, and kind of turned into Circus Baby for some reason, I don't know. And so, basically, William Afton is trying to kill them, or not kill them, but, yeah, he's trying to kill kids again. But at the end, he gets killed by his own creation. You get this. The creation is 5 animatronics sewn together. Does that sound familiar? You can't get that stories. Anyway, with that being said, I guess I've gone over the list. No, I'm not going over the Fazbear fights. I'm not going over their lore. After that, it's Hellpoint, a VR game. I love it. I played it before. It's fun. Basically, they have the first 3 FNAF games in the VR system, do the same things, obviously. Then they have the 4th one in different modes, where, like, Nightmare On will, like, have its tentacles, and you'll have to check the bed and everything. Funtime Freddy will appear in the FNAF warehouse for some reason. It's weird. And there's a really annoying game mode that I hated, where you had to flash these Circus Baby plushies before they killed you with a flashlight. And it was really annoying, but I somehow beat it. And there's perks and services where you basically do maintenance on the animatronics. So the lore with this game is, where you're set up in the main hub, there's a little rabbit peeking out in the corner, and that's like staring at you, and it's like, watching you. So in the game, you can collect VHS tapes to like see what's been going on with this. Sorry, Sandy's barking a lot. See what's been going on and everything in the game. Apparently, it's about taking over people's minds in the game. It's where we kind of get introduced to Vanessa in the Dreadbear DLC, though. I'll talk about that when I get to the Dreadbear DLC. Basically, the rabbit thing is named Glitch Trap. It's William Afton after he got burned, and for some reason he got turned into a virus. I don't know. I told you, Cicerolification is when everything went downhill. With him being departed from the living world to being an AI. But he somehow haunts the game files. And so you get lured by him and get... Yeah? What? What do you want? Yeah?
I asked you to put the dishes in the dishwasher.
I thought you said if I did. I thought you asked me if I did.
No, obviously I knew you didn't because I was standing right here. And you should have been like, no, I will. But no.
Anyway, back to Hope Wanted. Glitch Trap is William Afton in digital form trying to swap with you. He's trying to swap bodies with you or something. He tries to manipulate you, and there's one minigame where you're a kid and you basically, you're like one of the kids and you get turned into Freddy Fazbear because he kills people. Excuse me, supposedly. Now all these enemies are kind of weird. Excuse me, and crazy, but they're true. There's one where you guys merge, you and Glitch Trap will merge, and you're gonna be Glitch Trap, and then there's one where, you eventually kind of, I guess, kill him? I forgot, no, what would you do to Glitch Trap? There's more than one ending. Oh, there's one where you get shut away, I'm pretty sure. Trap, yes. To use the trap to mean violently instructions on tape 16. When Glitch Trap reaches out towards you, flip the party machine lever to off. Press the showtime button and reach it on the left side of your monitor and hit the secret button there, and then hit the highest counter button. Your screen will fade to black, and then you'll be taken to a metal door covered in handprints and scratch marks. Interact with the lock and panel slides, and a panel slides back on the other side of the door. Glitch Trap pushes you and walks away. Yes. So in the movie report, there's this thing called Princess Quest, which basically shows your journey throughout the game. I don't know fully about it yet. It's not fully big into security breach, but it's only on the mobile port. There's also an Easter egg that introduces us to Vanny. Vanny is a person who falls under Glitch Trap's control, who I guess we're also playing as. And there's like it was also on the background of my shirt. It's a rabbit mask that, she's like, oh yeah, I want to be like Glitch Trap and do what he does and everything. And yeah, I know this lore explaining is not really fully accurate. Anyway, if you get a Glitch Trap plush and you put the mask on, there's like little background talking, like her saying that yes, she's gonna do Glitch Trap once and everything. Then there's the Dreadbear DLC, which is the Halloween version of it. There wasn't really anything accumulated with lore in that, to be honest. Not that I remember, at least. Let me check. Dreadbear DLC. Dreadbear DLC. Yeah, it's in the Dreadbear DLC with the Vanny mask and the Glitch Trap plush. After that's FNAF AR. The FNAF AR doesn't really tie in with anything, to be honest, so skip that. Security breach. Alright, so we can put this up because security breach isn't even in this. Security breach has to do with the Mega Pizzaplex. It's Fazbear Entertainment. Security breach is also big with Vin. Basically, you're playing as a kid named Gregory. He's locked inside the Pizzaplex. Oh yeah, it's FNAF's first free-roam game. Awesome. Free-roam game. Awesome. Basically, you're trapped inside the Pizzaplex, and you have to wait till 6 a.m. to get out, and you're with Glamrock Freddy. Yes, this is where all the Glamrock animatronics come in. Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Monty, just Monty, Glamrock Chica, Roxanne Wolf, and Vanny. There's a little Burn Trap, who's another version of William Afton. After he got burnt, and after the whole digital thing. I don't know. It's weird. Everything, the FNAF lore gets weird. Basically, you go around collecting Faz tokens, Faz coins to get out of the Pizzaplex. There's an animatronic called Sun, if you turn the lights out in the Superstar daycare because they roam that area, they turn into moon, and they're gonna try to kill you. You have to turn all the generators back on and everything. I'll just run you through it. So first you go inside Freddy Fazbear's chest, or Landmark Freddy's chest cavity, and he's like, "Oh, it's not a safe place in there. That place is only for oversized birthday cakes and pinatas." And so basically you're in there, and then it gives you a little tutorial through the game. You jump over boxes, and then you're going to crawl through these vents to get out. And then so you have to collect a Faz. I think it's a stage pass, or it's some kind of pass. But you have to get the pass to unlock Freddy. So it's the first gift box opening, because you're going to be opening tons of gift boxes in this game. And so once you unlock the door, Freddy says, or Glenmark Freddy says, "Way to go, Superstar! I need to do it," which is like one of his best lines in the game. Anyway, after that, he's going to lead you, and it's going to show you how you can operate inside of Glenmark Freddy. Basically, he takes you downstairs into this well and everything, and then you're going to get involved with this chase scene after you put Glenmark Freddy on the charger. Oh yeah, Vanessa part too. There's also a part with Vanessa, who's actually Vanny, but like, Vanny is Vanessa's alter ego. Vanessa is the person that got mixed up with Glitchtrap and started this whole thing. So, you're going downstairs, and Freddy says that he needs to charge up. So, there's something with, you're downstairs. Or you're in the you're in the tunnels, and it's only apparently reserved to employees only. But anyway, Glenmark Freddy's down there, and then Vanessa comes, and basically you hide in the first aid station, and there's a conversation about Vanessa and Freddy, or Glenmark Freddy, and they know that, or Vanessa knows that you're there. She's basically the security guard in the game. Basically after that, Freddy is in charge, and you get involved with this whole chase scene. He gave you a Faz watch when you were inside of his chest cavity earlier. Not at this part, but like before you went out and got him out of his room. So basically, he gave you a Faz watch. So after that whole chase scene, you can call for him. You can call for Glenmark Freddy. And then there's more stuff that happens. You take out parts of the other animatronics so that you can put them into Freddy so that he can keep, doing stuff. Like, he can do stuff better. And nearly destroying all of his friends, it's sad. And then there's a part where Burn Trap comes in towards the end. And Burn Trap's William Afton. He doesn't really have a real jump scare unless, like, you somehow glitch into his room. I've seen things on YouTube where you can glitch into his room, but he doesn't have a real jump scare. Not that they accumulated anyway, but it's literally security breach. It's weird. I'm not gonna explain it all. I'm almost done this whole video anyway. And then after that, there's Ruined, the DLC which came out earlier this year. Basically, you're Cassie, and apparently Gregory is stuck inside of the Pizzaplex. When you're going down there, all the animatronics that have gotten their stuff, beaks and like eyes and like legs taken out, are trying to kill you as well. Basically, when this happens, I don't know how to explain it all. Ruin's just also weird as well, but you eventually, it's also with AI. So there's this mask. The Vanny mask, right? You can put it on, and some objects will disappear, some will come back, and there's security nodes that you can turn off and on. You can also use something called a Faz wrench to open doors and stuff and stop security nodes. There's other parts and all that stuff. It's kind of also a puzzle game. Anyway, once you get down to the place, we also get things about Glenmark Bonnie. A YouTuber named Dawko, I love him. He discovered that Glenmark Bonnie is dead behind the Bonnie Bowl area. He had a bowling ball or something, and it was all smashed. And so he had like claw marks on him and everything, and there was all these wet floor signs surrounding him. Supposedly Monty or Montgomery Gator is the suspect of him, of Bonnie dying, or Glenn Bonnie dying. Because Monty seems like he wants to be the star of the show, he wants to be in it, and so yeah, I think he killed Glenn Bonnie off to have more of a popularity in this. Basically, after that, you go down and you're lured into this thing. Basically, Gregory isn't in the game. It's the Mimic. So the Mimic is posing as Gregory, and Gregory isn't even in the Pizza Packs. But yeah, that's for, I don't know how to explain Ruin as well. But we got the newest game that came out less than a month ago is fnaf Helpline 2. It's so cool. I haven't played it yet, but I want to. It's basically in the whole Sister Location series. Basically, you get to play Princess Quest in VR, like actually, and then there's also a couple endings. I don't know the full lore of it, but I'm not gonna try to explain it too much. All I know is that there's Glitchtrap dies in one of the endings. Like he actually gets squished by Vanny for some reason. Like he's small and he gets squished by Vanny. There's an ending where you turn into a mask bot, which is in Security Breach Ruin, where you hand out masks. It's a reference to the map bots in Security Breach that would hand out maps. I guess that wraps it up. Oh yeah, the movie, I forgot about the movie. The movie was great. It features Josh Hutcherson as an actor for Mike Schmidt. I know you might be thinking, Mike Schmidt is a security guard or is a person who got fired from being a mall cop because he got in a fight with somebody, and he thought somebody was stealing a random kid because of what happened in his past when his brother Garrett got kidnapped, and he wants to relive the dream so he can figure out who does it. So he takes sleeping medications to help his thing be more vivid, or his dreams be more vivid. There is also, it's literally just Five Nights at Freddy's in the movie. It's so cool. They're coming out with the second one, probably in 2025. Have it right here. We got tons of references in the movie, and it is a great, awesome movie in my opinion. Sorry, Mr. Fluxy. As I said, this movie seems great. It says on the thing. From the producers of Megan and The Black Phone, bring the terrifying horror game phenomena to life as a blood-chilling horror film. Recently fired and desperate for work so that he can keep custody of his little sister, Mike, played by Josh Hutcherson, appears to take position as a night security guard at an abandoned themed restaurant, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. But Mike soon discovers that nothing at Freddy Fazbear's is what it seems. Mike's night at Freddy's will lead to him into unexplainable encounters with a supernatural, dragging him into the black part of an unspeakable nightmare. Now, yes, Carl the Cupcake went absolutely ham in the movie. William Afton is played by one of my favorites, Ghostface, Matthew Lillard, who played Stu Macher in Scream. He did a great role. I'll be right back. You know, he did a great role in the movie. And that's about it. That wraps it up. That was a really fun thing. Bye. Oh my goodness, that's long. 86 minutes.